Hello everybody. So hope this video finds you well and welcome back to another class. Today we are going to talk about progressive progression as a method for training. This topic is closely associated with the lesson of Yukimi, how to fall, in a sense that you haven't succeeded in achieving the move. However, this aspect falls on the positive spectrum as you are falling progressively forward, which is very much within your control. Hence, as covered prior, it lies in quadrant 1, where you know what to do when you fall. If you're unsure of what I've just said, do check out our Yukimi video, the 4 quadrants of falling. Before we dive further into it, I just like to explore the concept about why you want to progress forward. So having a good enough why is absolutely important for why you are training. The founders of Parkour had a saying that parkour is meant for everyone, but at the same time, parkour is not for everyone. See, parkour is a matter of training the body, spirit, and mind. It is not about just flashy move, large roof gap jumps, or insane flips. It is all about the mastery of our body, our bodily capability, and using it to subdue and ironically harmonize with your environment. Training parkour is not an easy thing, and even as you start down that path, to face the obstacle or not, the choice is entirely up to you alone to do what you think you cannot do. It will be a hard life, but you will find out who you are. It is a journey of self-discovery and personal capabilities. For ultimately, why are you risking the possibility of getting injured in making the jump? What it is to you? To whom are you trying to prove? To whom are you trying to show forth? Because the truth be told, these challenges that you have set aside for yourself really doesn't matter to anyone else except you. In the larger scope of life, the capability to make a particular jump really doesn't matter. It only matters as much as you made it matter. Sure, you might get a whoa, an applause, or some fleeting admiration from someone whom you desire attention from at that moment. But as mentioned above, these moments definitely isn't rewarding enough for all the dedication in life, not to mention the upkeep that you will need to put into this training. I guess what I'm really trying to drive at is that no one really cares, as their lives will go on with or without you. But you have to live with the consequences of your action, the good and the bad. And the bad is what we often choose to overlook in an effort to be positive. I am not advocating being negative, nihilistic, or having a pessimistic outlook in life. Of course not, because it will hinder your growth. Rather, having the perspective of both sides would help bring a clearer picture, clearer action plan, or how to handle the consequences that follows. It will make you a realist. And parkour is a very real discipline that serves life's hard choices and life hard lessons. There isn't a bubble-wrapped world when confronting your challenges. If there is, only if you allow yourself to be close up in that particular environment to do so, as you can see in this picture. Now that is absurd, right? Isn't it? Yes, in the light of a post-COVID-19 world, not so much. But I do believe that as with every other storm or hardship in life, even that will pass. This said, it is not to diss nor to undermine the importance of being on the cautious side of life. There is a degree of wisdom that lies there. In fact, I have a first-hand experience to have a paradigm shift in my mindset towards the need for a safer training environment as well. Which is why I've constructed the Freerunners Lodge after all, with crash mats and spring floors. To have this safely constructed environment to gradually, progressively progress you forward is truly a sort of blessing. But to become reliant on them is a sad and unfortunate place to be, because it stunts one's understanding in parkour and how it is meant as a discipline to adapt to the real world. Your why will determine why you are proceeding forward. even if you are to fall and fail, your why will help you to reflect if the reward truly outweighs the cost. This self-reflection will better help you understand what is in store ahead, and even if you got injured, how to recover, get better, and reclaim what is yours. To be able to train progressively forward, it is vital for one to be able to know how to break fall, that they can cover all their grounds. For this topic, please refer to the Yukimi Common Techniques video. If you are recovering from an injury in any way, it is usually wiser to postpone your breaking jump until, if possible, you are whole, as your body will very often be very subconsciously aware of the injury and as such overcompensate, resulting in minor injuries in other aspects. You could, however, seek to train other aspects or work on balancing yourself out. Training do differ from breaking jump. Training is meant to be at about 70% of your effort, well, 50 to 70% of your effort. For this topic about effort, please refer to the effort matrix video for better understanding to enhance your training. The humility to rest is just as important in parkour as it is to train. I do recognize that this matter is very much subjective to a degree. At times, you get a sensation that you can achieve your goals today, given that you are extremely attuned to your bodily mechanics. By all means, it is your body, your life. No one will understand you better. Well, to a degree there is. But the key is that ultimately, you need to understand that you will need to bear the responsibility. If you feel that you can seize the moment, well, it could be very much a very transformative experience. I sincerely believe that you have all that it takes within you to accomplish what you want. But it will take all that is within you in order to accomplish what you want. I'd like to emphasize that with parkour, we only have our body as our tool to create all these wonderful experiences. Unlike other sports that have complementary equipment or tools, see, if you are a fencer, if your weapon is spoiled, you get another. If you are a biker, if your bike is spoiled, you get another. But with parkour, we only have our body and you simply cannot get another. As such, much care is required, from eating well to having enough rest to building up your body armor. These are all that you will need to develop and drill, whereas during your plateau period, until you are ready to scale yet again. Don't be too addicted to scaling or to that mountaintop high. Rather, find joy in the process, being grateful always for the opportunity that you already have had possessed. Should you, however, find yourself always shying away from breaking jump, it will be good to have a mindset expressed so wonderfully through Socrates, that no man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical training. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and the strength of what his body is capable. Before I continue further, I just like to highlight there is a difference between trying for the sake of trying versus trying to work towards progressing forward. Now, what do I mean by trying for the sake of trying? That is, after a couple of attempts, which is usually done via powering through grit alone without tech or any analytical approach. It's the type of trying that seeks to reinforce what hinders you rather than break down the hindrance. To quote, "Instinct is a lie told by a fearful body hoping to be wrong," where you base yourself only on what you see and you blind yourself to the possibility of a new reality, making each attempt gradually degrading worse than the previous one, with frustration building up and pending up on the inside. Eventually, the avoidance, the hiding away, the staying out of sight, out of mind, or the constant attention to other unrelated matters such as tying your shoe, doing other stuff, walking about, things that are totally unrelated to the challenge, a drag to every attempt. At best, they then proceed to just suddenly stand at a corner, constantly avoiding the matter. Other times, they lash out at how impossible it is for him because the world was unfair, or self-deprecation speeches such as, I tried already, it's too hard, it's too difficult, I gave my best, No, why can't I do it? Why am I so weak? Maybe this is not for me. It's the lights, I have sweaty palms, it's my shoe, it's the weather, it's not my fault. I cannot. I shall listen to my fortune today, the stars' signs are against me. At worst, to play the fool and be a distraction and seek to cahoot with like-minded to sway the numbers to their favor to halt the activity. You can hypothesize a couple of reasons. Well, if I can't make it, I'm gonna make sure that everyone else can. Or at least I'm gonna try and slow them down so I don't look so bad. But I think the more likely reason in their head would be, I know I can't make it, and when others are making it happen, it's a constant reminder of a horrible truth that I can't stand to face the truth of it. This is not merely a child's problem, it's just more apparent because unlike children, adults have the ability to make immediate choices because they are spoiled for choice. It resides in every adult, an inner child, that we all have to contend with the same issue. I sincerely understand the desire to achieve. However, anything worthwhile cannot be achieved without hard work and the corrective steps towards improvement. The desire to want is needed. However, there is also the need to start down constructive steps towards attaining your goals. Just wanting something doesn't entitle you to it. A lot of people want to go to space and the moon, but to be able to do it requires you to take several steps towards pursuing such goals. It's such as having the necessary qualification, networking with the right people, charting and pursuing the correct career ladders, and etc. It is the active pursuit of your plans based on your desire over the unstated duration of time until you succeed in your desire, or you no longer see the desire a worthy pursuit because the cost outweighs the rewards that you seek. Hence the retraction, which there lies a degree of wisdom to cut your losses and avoid the sunken cost fallacy. And you see this in some kids or people that is just hyper focus. They seem to have that innate acumen for delayed gratification, the understanding that there will always be time for pleasure, or in a child's mind, to play. Basically, no inhibitions. I just want to clearly state that I'm not one of those kids, and it's not a shame to admit that I'm not the latter, rather the former. As such, I can genuinely understand procrastination and the harshness of reality against your own incompetence, or rather, coming to terms with it. Which brings us to how parkour functions as a mirror. Your movement is a reflection of what you have had emphasized. It is a manifestation of what you value and focused. Your movement background will hence enable you to transition into some cross-discipline sports faster comparatively to another person. For example, climbers will find the climbing aspects in parkour a breeze to pick up. Gym buffs and CrossFit practitioners have a proclivity towards muscular control. As such, the integral aspects of rolling up when it comes to precision jump is quickly understood. Whereas fighters pick up technical moves fast, dancers' understanding for flow in motion is almost immediate, and the list goes on. At the same time, they will reflect what you are weaker in and what is it that you have neglected. Basically, the clinks in your armor. And if you will allow yourself the opportunity to work on them because they are being shown, improvements will certainly not be immediate. In fact, it will be dangerous if forced upon so. And it's really quite alright to not be ready to undertake the journey and take the steps only when you are ready. Well, what happens when you find out that you are just weak? Well, the silver lining is that at the baseline, you get to choose what you like to scale first, with minimum need to unlearn and relearn mistakes that the practitioners of other sports, arts, and discipline would have to undertake because of what they have picked up prior. Parkour is ultimately a journey of self-discovery. We shouldn't use our physical capabilities to merely escape and neglect the other clinks and weaknesses in our lives. Whereas we ought to develop our strength to better monetize on them, our weaknesses needs to be worked upon that we might be whole. Parkour reflects who you are heartlessly. It shows you your ego, or stubborn refusal if you refuse to change, or it is an actuality or simply just weakness or that you suck. That harsh reality can be quite a painful pill to swallow. Like if you have had been an athlete in your teens, but haven't or hardly trained in your adulthood. In fact, it doesn't even have to be that long. It might be a matter of just 3 to 6 months away. Your mindset might have been that of the past physical capability, but parkour challenges can really shine a light in your inabilities, weaknesses, or more harshly, what you're lacking despite past skill. Parkour really is for everyone, but it is not for everyone because the amount of commitment to self-development is to continuously engage in the process of self-improvement, not just physically, but also philosophically, the application to lifestyle and as a human being. Not just doing things from one task to the next in life, but being, to live, to enjoy the fruits of your labor, the legacy beyond yourself, but benefiting others, or even more importantly, to your family. At times, it is looking at a challenge and haven't given your all, still not making the cut for it. You need to come to that humble realization that at times it is just not today, or just not yet. It is necessary to have the understanding that we only have limited amount of strength each day to overcome our challenges before we have the need to rest. That rest is directly proportionate to the amount of strength that we have had exerted, whereas our challenge is usually proportionate to the challenge that which we have set for ourselves. In the midst of post-production, I realized that just how long this class had gone and have decided to segment it. The above covers extensively about finding out your why for progression and how parkour functions as a mirror for your being. In the next class, we'll start to cover the more practical concepts for you to progressively progress. Until the next class, train safe and stay well. See ya.